Seven Year Legs Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up. Another episode of Say With Your Legs Media. So what we're doing today is we're just going to run down the winners so far up to stage 15 of this year's La Vuelta. And it's been a very interesting La Vuelta from the start. So in stage one, we had the winners was DSM. And I wouldn't say they won by default, but they definitely had a unseen advantage as they went early in the day. The roads weren't as wet as they were for the rest of the teams and the riders for the rest of the race. So they had an unexpected win. And then also they took the leader's jersey, red jerseys, unexpectedly. So that was a big win for Team DSM. Well done to Team DSM. Stage two was won by Andreas Kron of Lotto Destiny. He broke away, fabulous ride. On the last sort of like climb, he rode away. He was able to ride away, solo away. And a fantastic job and well done to Lotto Destiny. Stage three, Remco Evenepoel. He was not happy on stage one because basically his team started last. They started in the dark. Horrendous rain conditions, couldn't see and everything, but then he bounced back to win stage three, out sprinting, as you can see, Vingegaard in the background. But shortly after as you can see in the picture, shortly after the finish, he crashed into, looks like a photographer or maybe a masseuse, one of the team support. And he flipped over his bike and landed in his head and he busted his head. So Remco was having a real run of it just from the get-go, but well done on the win. So he started off in celebratory fashion and looking like he's in this to win it. He's a contender. Stage four went to he's definitely the fast man of the moment, Caden Groves of Alpecin-Deceuninck, and he had a clear win. He's clearly the man on form at the minute, and he is the man to beat. Stage five, Caden Groves again. He now claimed the green jersey. The green jersey basically goes to the rider who is the most consistent, and he has the if you're most consistent, that means you finish forward, like the furthest forward in the best position. So the higher up, first, second, third, each gets points. So if you finish further up, you get more and more points, and then there are also bonus points along the way, sprint points, and he won a couple of those. So Caden Groves, rightly so, he's in the green jersey as leader of the sprinters in the sprint competition, and as well as he's the man on form. But take a look at the picture. You see just under Caden Groves' armpit is a guy, Jeffrey Soup. We're gonna talk about him in a minute. Stage six goes to Sepp Kuss, who with the three-prong attack of Primož Roglic, Jonas Vingegaard, and they just they're head and shoulders above everybody else as far as talent is concerned in this race. Most teams they have one clear leader and a bunch of guys that support, but Jumbo-Visma just stacked, and basically Kuss is in his third Grand Tour for the year, and clearly, if not the strongest, one of the strongest climbers in the world. Basically, for the Giro, he rode Roglic to the win. For the Tour de France, he rode Jonas Vingegaard to the win. And when Sepp Kuss is usually finished on the front on the climb for his man Roglic or Jonas Vingegaard, there's usually no one else behind. The only person that was there for the most part was Tadej Pogacar. So everyone else would just got rode off the wheel. So, and if the only person in front of him is his team leader, which is Jonas Vingegaard or Primož Roglic, who else is stronger? Except maybe Tadej Pogacar. So basically, he is, if not the strongest, one of the strongest climbers in the world. On to stage 7, and well done to Sepp Kuss for winning that stage. This stage he finished, and he was 8 seconds adrift to the red jersey, so he didn't quite take the red jersey on this stage. That went to a young man from Motorola. Not Motorola, sorry, Movistar. A Motorola, I'm going back in time, boy. So the man that was under the arm, Caden Groves, in 2 stages ago, surprised everybody. He he just took a different line coming up on the sprint. The sprint was like 300 meters from the last turn, so you didn't want to. It's a long way to sprint, so 300 meters is a bit long of a sprint. Like most, that's just hard to carry a sprint that long. So if you're coming out of a corner, usually that's right before the sprint, you have the best position and you are favored, but that means you have to start sprint a lot earlier, or you have to be a bit more cagey, and guys have to come around you. But because he timed it and figured it. He got it good, and he got the best of Caden Groves and all the other sprinters on the day. And well done to Jeffrey Suit of Total Energies. Is he the new revelation for uh, Total Energies? Taking over from Peter Sagan. So well, we will see. He had a couple good wins in the Tour of Benin last this year as well too. So and hopefully there is a Tour of Benin, but they are having some social unrest, and hopefully that doesn't affect the Tour of Benin for 2024, because I hope I can get there and check it out. Stage 8. Stage 8 goes to Primoz Roglic. So that's basically uh, two of the big guns have won a stage. You got Sepp Kuss and Primoz Roglic. And Primoz Roglic basically outsprinted Remco Evenepoel, who you see in the picture in second. And basically his hand is coming down. You can't see, but he was just hitting the bars like in frustration. And then he went on to say later, Remco Evenepoel went on to say later that he thought that there was someone else up the road and that they weren't sprinting for the win, that they were just sprinting for second place. So he's like, hey, what the hell? So he's like, Primoz Roglic had it pretty much. But it would have been an interesting battle if Remco would have sprinted to, to the end, like, really sprinted or duked it out with it. Could he have out sprinted Primoz? Because those two, when it comes to sprints like that, like after like a hilly stage, they're pretty much on par. So I can't say neither here nor there if Remco would have won the sprint, if he would have like just, took it on thinking that there was no one else in front. So I'm pretty sure those two will go head to head on another day, and we'll get to see who is the who is, top sprinter. But they're both talented, so I think that was anybody's win. So brought up the Primoz Roglic for Jumbo Visma. On to stage 9. Leonard Kamna. It's Kam. Oh my goodness, Kamma. I spelled his name wrong. Apologies. It's Kamma. Kamma. So I don't know how I got that wrong. I can probably just correct it now really quickly if I wanted to, which I'm gonna do. Kam. That's what it's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's that. Let's check. Let's double check. So yeah, so he had a fantastic win on the stage. It looked like Geraint Thomas was possibly going to get a win on the stage. He was in the breakaway. Geraint Thomas has had a real up and down type of just year. So and he's crashed a couple of times already, and it looked like yeah, Geraint Thomas was in the break and he's gonna do the thing, and he just wasn't able to. He wasn't able to get the win, so it went to Cam Nah, Cam Nah. I thought that's what it was. So one more correction, and thanks for hanging out with me, Cam Nah, a Hogs Grove. So yeah, that was a pretty amazing day for him, and well done to Boris Hansgrohe and Leonard Kamna. Stage 10, the specialist. Out comes Filippo Ganna. Filippo Ganna, because he's so far down on GC, he started really early in the day. And it's a short time trial, 14 miles. So that means you're being like absolutely explosive for 14 miles, which is his specialty, and it's flat, basically one little bump in the course. And that's all Filippo Ganna. The only other person that came close is the current world champion, time trial champion, which is Remco Evenepoel. I think he finished some 20 seconds down on Filippo Ganna. So by rights, I couldn't see anybody beating Felipe on this course. It's pan flat. He's a huge engine, and he's not going to lose anything on any hills or anything, because there are no hills. So he gets to use all of that raw power and just stick it to everybody. And well done to Felipe Ganna for winning the time trial, but he had to sit for a really, really long time because he went so early. And every time they were like panning back to him and show him, he was like changing positions in the chair, like like after all like that, you want to take a nap, but he's being forced to stay awake and watch until the end. That must have been tough. That probably was the hardest part of the day, just staying awake and watching everybody else come through. Stage 11. Stage 11 went to the Jesus Herrera. Stage 11 went to Jesus Herrera. And fantastic win by Jesus. And coming to the finish, it was pretty funny. Uh, his dad, or I don't know if it was his dad, but it was definitely somebody in uh, Kofidis jersey or whatnot. Like they were the support. They also had the wristband, so they were official. But they were cheering at the line. They were like literally screaming and jumping up and down at the line. Come on, come on, come on. And one of the security guards just like rugby tackled him and took him off the away from the start finish line. And that was caught on camera. That was pretty amazing to see. That was pretty funny. But yeah, so well done to Jesus Herrera, go for this, and with the win on stage 12. I mean, stage 11. On stage 12, went to Sebastian Molano. Now, this was an interesting sprint. So, what was cool about this sprint was that Caden Groves, he's obviously the fastest. His team was at the front. They were doing their thing, but it was a headwind. So, it was a bit hard to keep the high speed needed to do what needed to be done. So, and UAE took advantage of this. They came around. They just wasn't playing, and they just unleashed Milano. Probably about they probably started out maybe 200, and they just literally came around uh, opposite the clinic, and everybody else like they were standing still, and basically everyone else had no chance. That was a well deserved win by Sebastian Milano on stage 12. Stage 13 went to Jonas Vingegaard. So Jumbo Visma completes the trilogy of victories in this stage race. So basically, they had a win from Sepp Kuss, who is in the leader's jersey at the minute, and then they had a win from Primoz Roglic, and then now they got a win on possibly the hardest stage of the race. And if you can see the profile, it's just literally up, down, up, down. There was like no valley roads, no respite, and that was a top stage. And Jonas Vingegaard was completely fried after that race. So what's amazing to me is that the way he's riding, he actually looks like he's making a huge effort to do this race, to complete this race. And even though he is still one of the strongest in this race, you can also see he's not riding at the level that he was in the Tour. So he was on a different level in the Tour de France. And I wouldn't say he's struggling, but he's definitely not riding to the level that he was. But well done to Jonas Vingegaard, because the level that he's riding at is obviously still a lot better than everybody else. Stage 14. Stage 14. This was a weird one for me. So on stage 13, the stage just previously that Jonas Vingegaard won, Remco Evenepoel was in the runnings, and everyone was talking up how it's going to be this big duke it out between Primoz Roglic and Remco Evenepoel. And on the second to last climb, Remco literally just gave up the ghost. He was getting dropped, and I think it got to about a minute, and Remco just like, okay, yeah, I'm had enough. I'm not riding. I'm not trying. I'm not trying to, give my all and everything. I got more days to race, and to me, it just seemed and felt like, if I'm not gonna win, I'm not riding or wasting all this energy if I'm not gonna win. Just. So he cruised in pretty much at almost 30 minutes down from the winner, Jonas Vingegaard. So he lost 30 minutes. Before he lost that 30 minutes, he was about a minute and a half off of GC. So he had a fighting chance of actually, winning, because he won this race last year. He won the overall last year. So that's obviously what he's battling for and trying to defend. So everyone was putting their money on Remco to be, I mean, on Remco to be duking it out with Primoz Roglic, and it just didn't happen. I was just so disappointed of that on stage 13. But fast forward to stage 14, where he basically, because he was so far down, he's not a threat to GC anymore, to the overall win. So basically, all the big boys just let him go up the road in the breakaway. He went up in the road in the breakaway, and sort of as expected, he just rode everybody off of his wheel, and he went solo, as you see in the picture. But when he's coming through the finish, bro, man was crying and in tears and all of this stuff, and I'm trying to figure out what is all of these tears and whatnot for. It just seemed weird. It just seemed weird. I mean, yeah. So what, dude? You bounced back. Well done. I mean, what? It just seemed weird. Like that he was so emotional, but he's been through emotional roller coasters from the beginning with having to ride laps in the dark, in the rain, can't see where you're going. Just basically like riding like with a walking stick, basically feeling his way, feeling for the corners and stuff. Then crashing on stage three right after the finish, busting up his head, and then yesterday just like getting dropped and then just stopped racing and accumulated massive amounts of time to allow him to be able to go for another stage, unabated and not having to worry about anyone chasing him down, any of the big boys chasing him down. But then he's like full of tears, like he's so emotional. It just seemed really, really weird to me. I'm like, yo, dude, you're a winner. That's what it is. Some days go your way, some days don't. But like the tears for me, I don't know. I I just didn't get it. So anyway, that's stage 14 to Rui Costa. Intermarché Suckers one team. This is my favorite team, obviously, because Biniam Gramey is on this team, so he's a teammate of Biniam Gramey. He won. He's been around for a little while. He's a former world champion, and Rui Costa is one of those guys that if he gets into a breakaway and if he's there at the end, you stand a good chance to win some money if you put your money on this man. He is definitely a good bet. And coming towards the end, he was asking the young man that was riding with him, I can't remember his name, to come around and take a turn. And the young man was, nah, you sat on my wheel on that whole uphill, that uphill climb. It wasn't like a real serious climb, it was a tempo climb. So you could have come to the front and helped. So basically, he just gave Rui back what Rui was giving out. So Rui didn't like the taste of his own medicine. And they had a little, like, you know, little, this and that. And then the German rider from Boris Hansgrohe, who actually rode off the road halfway down the climb, and he didn't hurt himself. He just rode into like a little grassy area, able to jump back on his bike, get back on, and because Rui Costa and the other rider that he was with, they were back and forth, like weren't riding. The German guy from Boris Hansgrohe was able to catch back up, and then it was a three-man sprint. And in the sprint, um, Rui Costa used all of his like wittiness, and he's been in the sport for quite some time, and he used all of that, and he was able to take the sprint, and yeah, it was just clever. It's just using everything like because you've been around so long, you race smart and not hard sometimes, and that's what it did. So well done to Rui Costa on stage 15. Like I said, that's I got the wrong profile up for the stage as well. So let me just get this out of here. So that's definitely not the stage for. That's definitely not the profile for the stage. Do apologize for that. And Rui Costa tonight. So check him out. Check out. So tonight, check us out. We're going to go over stage 15 and see who wins today. So I'm just looking at the course real quick because I don't have it up. It was lumpy. It was lumpy. It wasn't. I guess you could consider it a climbing stage, but well done to Rui Costa and Intermarché Circus Monte. I think they've won a stage at every tour this year. So he is your current wearer and leader of the red jersey. So we, don't think he's going to lose any time today because today is a sprinter stage. And I'm pretty sure his whole focus and his whole team's focus will be staying safe, staying out of trouble, and getting him to the finish line unscathed and unbothered. So anyway, like I said, thanks for tuning in. I will see you tonight, and we will go over stage 16 and see which one of the fast boys took care of the business. Anyway, until tonight, see you later. Sever Your Legs Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff.